Welcome back to Comparison World Facts. Today we're going to be doing the most powerful armies in the world comparison. So, who do you think is the true superpower? Will it be the United States, Russia, China, or another country? Well, make sure to like the video as well as subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss out on any of our upcoming content. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. The power of the modern war has changed considerably in the last century. The advent of mobile warfare, the development of aerial combat, and the proliferation and improvement in weapons have made modern warfare much more lethal. This has led many to conclude that no single country can be considered superior over others. This logic is sound. If no one can claim to be superior, no one is militarily inferior to anyone else. However, this analysis fails to consider certain factors influencing a nation's ability to wage war successfully. Focusing on these variables makes it possible to determine which countries dominate their field. The world's armies vary considerably in size, capabilities, training standards, organizations, equipment, tactics, and battlefield strategies. No two armies are precisely alike. Some specialize in specific fields while others excel at others. To determine which army is the most powerful today, we must look at several categories and evaluate them against one another for weaknesses or advantages compared to potential opponents. Firstly, the U.S. Armed Forces. The United States military is the most powerful in terms of weapons, equipment, personnel, and funding. However, its effectiveness is limited by a number of factors. For example, the U.S. spends approximately $800 billion on defense, but a large amount of money is mainly spent on maintaining a massive bureaucracy of government employees. The U.S. military is comprised of many branches: an air force that relies on long-range bombing, air support, and strategic intelligence. The U.S. Navy is primarily a surface force that relies on naval superiority and submarines, and the U.S. Marines are a hybrid force that rely on amphibious assaults. Russian Armed Forces. The Russian military boasts one of the most significant land forces in the world. The Russian Navy is one of the largest in the world, and the Russian Air Force is one of the largest air forces in the world. However, the Russian military has seen many setbacks in the last several years that have damaged its ability to project force around the globe. For years, the Russian army enjoyed a significant technological and military advantage over its opponents. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to the privatization of weapons, equipment, and facilities that had previously been government's property. This privatization led to a significant reduction in the quality of military hardware and infrastructure. The Russian military has also been plagued by corruption scandals and a lack of funding that has reduced the amount and quality of its combat aircraft, submarines, and other critical military assets. The Russian military can also not fully modernize its weapon systems, planes, and ships. As a result, the Russian army is not as capable of projecting force across the globe as it once was. This is becoming extremely evident with the ongoing conflict with Ukraine. Chinese Armed Forces. The Chinese military is one of the largest in the world and has been improving steadily in strength and capability. At the time of this writing, China has the world's largest army, the world's largest naval fleet. However, it becomes much less potent than that of the United States. However, the Chinese military has been hampered by a lack of funding, poor leadership, and a lack of transparency. The Chinese military mixes territorial, amphibious, and expeditionary forces. It is primarily designed to defend Chinese territorial interests as well as conduct limited defense operations in nearby territories. The Chinese military is primarily designed to defend its borders and prevent other countries from interfering in Chinese affairs. The Chinese military is also designed to defend China's economic interests when they're threatened by other countries. The Chinese military has recently been improving its capabilities and expanding its global presence. The Chinese military has expanded its presence in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. It has also been increasing its presence in the international naval and air stations. The British Armed Forces. The British military has had a long history of being a global superpower. This was especially evident in the last century when the British Army was the most advanced in the world. Since that time, however, the British military has been slowly declining in capability and importance. This decline has been exacerbated by several political and budgetary factors that have significantly impacted its ability to project forces across the globe. The British military is primarily designed to defend British territory and regional interests. It has been designed to operate in concert with Allied forces and other branches of the British government when necessary. The British military has also maintained a significant presence in the Persian Gulf region. It has maintained this presence to protect that region's oil supply and prevent other countries from interfering with it. The German Armed Forces. The German military has traditionally been the most powerful in Europe, and it has been an important force in the world throughout most of the 20th century. However, Germany is currently experiencing a significant decline in its military capabilities. This decline has been exacerbated by several political and budgetary factors that have significantly impacted the effectiveness of its forces. The German military is a force designed primarily for territorial defense. It has maintained a significant presence in Europe and the Middle East to protect its interests. It has also maintained a significant presence in the international naval and air stations to defend against potential threats. However, the German military is currently experiencing a substantial decline in its capabilities. This decline has been exacerbated by a significant number of political and budget factors that have significantly impacted its effectiveness. Keep watching along closely. We wouldn't want you to miss out on our pick for the true military superpower in the world, so don't go anywhere. Indian Armed Forces. The Indian military is currently the most powerful in the world. It is the largest standing army in the world and has the most advanced weapons, equipment, and military technology available. However, its strength and capability have been slowly declining for several years. This decline has been exacerbated by a significant number of political and budgetary factors that have significantly impacted its abilities to project force across the globe. The Indian military is primarily designed to defend Indian territory and India's economic interests when threatened. It has also been designed to limit offensive operations in nearby territories. The Indian Army has slowly been declining in strength and capability for several years. This decline has been exacerbated by a significant number of political and budgetary factors that have significantly impacted its effectiveness. Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force. The Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force is a small and relatively weak military force that is designed to defend Japanese territory. The Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force is currently the most powerful military force in the world that has not been formally declared a combatant in any war. This relative lack of combat experience allows the Japanese military to minimize losses in battle and conduct limited offensive operations when necessary. So with that being said, who is the true superpower? Well, as usual, we'd go with the United States. Although their economy might not be doing great as it usually does right now, it has still got an apparent edge over the rest of the world. But superpowers don't always last forever. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about the world's most powerful armies in the world in comparison. What do you think about our choice in superpower? Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss out on any of our upcoming content. Thanks for watching.